Hello, Woods Road School. My name is Len LaSalandra, and I'm here to tell a story from the state of Connecticut. I'm going to be reading from the book Connecticut from the Hello USA book series by Amy Gelman. Let me begin by showing you where Connecticut is located compared to New Jersey, the state where Woods Road School is located. Connecticut is part of New England and real close to New Jersey. As you can see from the picture, Connecticut is where the Green Star is located, and New Jersey is where the Red Star is located. New York is between us, and the three states together are known as the tri-state area, meaning three states. Connecticut is a tiny state, one of the smallest in the nation. The state often surprises visitors who wonder how such a small place can offer so many different landscapes. Scenery around the state varies from forest and rolling hills to lush farmland and sparkling beaches. Connecticut is the southernmost state in New England, a name that refers to the northeastern corner of the United States. Rhode Island lies to Connecticut's east, and Massachusetts is its neighbor to the north. New York borders Connecticut to the west, and Long Island Sound forms the state's southern border. Helped shape Connecticut's landscape. Over 200 million years ago, volcanic lava flowed up from inside the earth and spread over central Connecticut. The lava hardened into ridges of solid rock which still rise out of parts of central and eastern Connecticut. Most recently, about 30,000 years ago, solid sheets of ice called glaciers covered what later became the northeastern United States. As these glaciers melted, they too changed Connecticut's look. The glaciers dragged piles of soil, rocks, and pebbles along the ground, making hills and ridges throughout the state. The melting ice filled hollow areas, creating many lakes and streams. Most of the hills formed by the glaciers are in two regions, the western upland and the eastern upland at either end of the state. The flatter central lowland region lies in between. In the southern part of the state, the narrow coastal lowland runs the whole length of Long Island Sound. Connecticut's highest peaks tower over the western upland. Much of the western upland is filled with small towns. The central lowland, which boasts Connecticut's best farmland, covers the central part of the state. The long Connecticut River flows through much of the central lowland. Hartford, the state's capital, lies on the western side of the river. The hills of the eastern upland are lower than those of the western upland, and dense forest covers much of the area. The coastal lowland, lower and flatter than the rest of the state, runs along the southernmost edge of Connecticut. Sandy beaches cover the southern part of the coastal land. The Connecticut is the state's major river, the Connecticut River. Many Indian tribes once made their homes on the river's banks, and early white settlers built the state's first towns there. Its name and the state's comes from an Indian word, Quinnicutuck, meaning at the long tidal river. More than 1,000 lakes dot the Connecticut countryside. Candlewood Lake was created when a dam or barrier was built and construction workers dug a hole to store water blocked off by the dam. This became Candlewood Lake. Connecticut has a lot of people for such a small state. They have crowded out most of the large animals such as bears and panthers, which once traveled over the land. Many small furry creatures, including rabbits, minks, and squirrels, still roam Connecticut's fields and forests. A few fishing type animals like the beaver and other small mammals that are cousins to the weasel can be seen there. White-tailed deer and a few moose occasionally roam through the woods. Forests of ash, beech, birch, and oak cover much of Connecticut. The mountain laurel has bushes flowering throughout all of Connecticut, and it is its state's flower. It decorates the hills and roadsides all over the state, making it very beautiful during the fall when the leaves come falling down. Long before the first Europeans arrived in Connecticut, hundreds of Native American or American Indian groups lived all over the area. These people hunted and gathered wild plants for food in Connecticut's dense forest. They fished in its waters Later, they grew crops such as corn and tobacco. The Indians cut trails across the land and made travel possible around the region. They traded with each other. A tribe near a river, for example, might have traded fish to a tribe from a wooded area and gotten meat in exchange. The Dutch came to Connecticut in 1614, hoping to set up trade with the Indians. They settled near Hartford and made a Dutch colony called New Netherland. Another colony was also started in New Haven. Over time, the colonies of the Dutch and others began fighting with the Indians over the land. Soon the Indians were killed or scared away to other areas, and Connecticut had mostly people from Britain and the rest of New England in the 1600s. The British made rules for the colonies called Fundamental Orders in 1639. This gave Connecticut, and therefore other states in the colonies, the right to elect their own governor. This was replaced by a charter in 1662 given by King Charles II of Britain, making Connecticut and New Haven colonies come together under the one name, Connecticut. On page 27, which we're showing you, the British government thought it could regain control of the colonies by taking back their charters. Connecticuters disagreed. They hid their charter in an old tree, the Charter Oak tree, and this is why Connecticut is sometimes called the Charter Oak State. Connecticut has been a leader in many areas. I'd like to go through some of them. It has been known as the insurance capital, forming the first insurance company in 1795. Connecticut was one of the first makers of handguns and bullets. The Colt Firearms Company began making guns in 1855 and did so until last year. But Connecticut was also known for making clocks, ships, hats, horse carriages, and clothing. Because of the water and land to grow crops, Connecticut became a place for many people to come and settle. Let's share some fun facts about Connecticut that are in the book. Connecticut's residents have quite a sweet tooth. The Bradley Smith Company in New Haven, Connecticut made the world's first lollipops in 1908. Other candies created in the state include Mounds and Pez. The Dinosaur Park is one of the best places in the world to see ancient dinosaur tracks in Rocky Hill, Connecticut. Connecticut is the third largest state, smallest state in the country. Only Rhode Island and Delaware are smaller. It is so small, in fact, that it would fit in Alaska, the largest state, more than 117 times. Connecticut was the fifth state, a colony, to form the United States. New Jersey was the third. The state bird is the red-breasted robin. The Hartford Courant is the oldest printed newspaper in America, and it started October 29, 1764, as the Connecticut Courant. The state song is the Yankee Doodle Dandy. It's a song about the British laughing about the Connecticut Yankees not being very organized in battles. Our time is up, and I hope this was an educational video about your neighboring state. Thank you to the Woods Road School, and I'll be donating this book, purchased from a library in Pennsylvania, so other students can learn more about the rest of the country. Thank you.